Welcome to DFO Guide, Dailies and Weeklies Part 2. This is the real Batman, and in this video, I want to go over other dungeons that you can and should do that are unrelated to farming gear. Have you ever wondered, where can I farm more gold? What should I do with extra fatigue? Where can I get more clear cube fragments? Well, all your questions will be answered here. The first dungeons I actually do every single day are located in Valley of the Fallen Souls. These are Spirit Heaven and Tower of Dazzlement. Spirit Heaven allows you to get weapon molds to change the visuals of your equipped weapon. This is purely cosmetic and the rates are very low, but this takes like 1 minute to complete every day, tops. When you find a weapon you like the look of, keep it in your safe. And if you ever find a weapon mold, or if you decide to spend real money on a mold, go to Linus, and he will create a weapon skin for you. If you have a weapon that you want to use on another class, make sure you transcend that weapon to the character you want first, and then create the weapon skin on that character. The weapons can be transferred, but if you create the weapon skin on the wrong character, I don't think you can trade or transfer it. Tower of Dazzlement helps you get enchant cards. 5 characters can enter per week, and the rewards aren't that much, but it's really quick, and over time the amount of materials you get, it really adds up. The next dungeons I want to discuss are the gold farming dungeons. Gold in 115 cap is kind of hard to come by. These dungeons are Track Malefic Energy and Annihilate the Maleficence. Track gives you a little bit of gold per run and gives you 1 Malefic Residue. You can use Malefic Residue instead of gold to upgrade Fusion Stones, inherit or transfer stats, recall items from your armory, or other things, at a valuation of 5,000 gold per residue. I personally do not recommend running Track. It takes way too long to run for how little it gives. Annihilate the Maleficence, on the other hand, is the real gold farming dungeon. In order to enter, you need Malefic Clues, which you can buy off the auction house or buy from Banubu when he shows up at the end of dungeons. Always buy the clues from Banubu. It costs about 100k, but you can sell it for 300k on the auction house, or run the dungeon yourself to get the gold back, plus 30 Malefic Residue per run. By the way, there's another NPC that sells clues in bunches, but I have not found him in a while, so I don't have footage of what he looks like. Another dungeon you can run if you run out of clues and Doom Oracles is Starfall Forest. This dungeon consumes FP very quickly, 3 per room. The boss has a small chance to drop unique and even legendary equipment, and ideally, you get a few Banubu spawns to get more Malefic Clues. I recommend running normal difficulty, weapon unequipped, and grab an Ice Fang Fusion Stone to help you clear faster. You can grab Ice Fangs from the Epic Fusion Stone box from the Mystical Grimoire. Next, I want to briefly talk about Infinity Florescence. Basically, this dungeon is a joke. You can buy entries every week at the Mystical Grimoire, and some events give some free entries here and there. It has some nice rewards, like the Epic box, but honestly, I just use my entries for Void Souls. If I have extra entries, I'll run the dungeon, and the gear that you get from the dungeon, it's going to be replaced in a few weeks of farming, so this dungeon is just not a main focus whatsoever. There is an NPC at the end of dungeons that sells some entries. Honestly, don't buy any of it. I only buy the legendary ones because I have extra legendary souls, so might as well use them up, but otherwise don't bother. On the other hand, a very useful dungeon to run every week is Ashrahan Archives. You get entries for this dungeon in the raid shop after you've collected a few materials from Mu/Ashrahan raid. You get a lot of epic items from old caps, and it's a good way to get clear cube fragments when you disassemble them. This is also the best way to get cursed gear for amplification. I can explain how that system works in another video. Now, in terms of monthlies, every month you can go into Memories of Triumph. This takes no FP, and all you do is just beat up past bosses and earn rewards. There's also a mechanic where you press, I think it's tab, you can block attacks, and if you miss, time it, you don't block anything, it goes on cooldown. I recommend spending your rewards on extra Doom Oracles here. To summarize my personal daily routine, it goes like this. Valley of the End, do Spirit Heaven on my main, then Tower of Dazzlement on 5 characters. Then, I do Gaze at the Maleficence on however many characters I want, up to 20. On weekly reset on Tuesday, I try to do Advanced Dungeons in Venus on my stronger characters. I try to find parties earlier in the week so I can clear the weekly party clears. Most players get their weeklies done on Tuesday, and it's easier to find parties then. Otherwise, on weaker characters, or on characters I don't care about, I procrastinate and do them on Monday if I have time. On Wednesday, I do Mood Raid on however many characters I have time for. It's not likely to find raids on any other day, so I try to finish what I can on Wednesday. Thursday is Enable Raid Day, and I finish my main raids on Thursday if I can, but many people do this raid on other days too. I do matchmaking on weaker characters whenever I can. When I have nothing else to do, run Disciple of Doom. And if I run out of entries, I run gold farming dungeons or Ashrahan Library for some cubes. I don't run Starfall Forest anymore, but if you have nothing to do, go ahead and run that. And then Infinity Florescence if you have extra entries. Also, don't forget Memories of Triumph at the end of the month. A few things you shouldn't forget. Each week, you can buy cheap legendary cards from the Mystical Grimoire, either to use, or to sell, or to use as material for upgrading legendary cards. Also, if you press semicolon, and if you're in a guild, there's a monthly guild shop with free reinforcers and free amplifiers, up to a limit. Owls and life tokens are also nice. Also, check the Sarah shop for repair coupons. You can buy some with mileage and some for gold. Every little bit of gold saved helps. Also, check Senior for more weekly repair coupons. And she also has Dark Fragmented Abyss items for buff swapping. You can also get buff swapping gear from Hugh Fitzleary in the Falacia area, basically where Infinity Florescence is. Check the auction hall to buy Rift Shards. To use buff swaps, leave it in your inventory, press the buff swap icon, and place it in. This gear is super expensive otherwise, so be patient and wait for monthly resets to get more buff swaps. Well, these are all the dailies and weeklies that you should be running in the 115 cap. Hopefully, everything made sense and you know what to do from here. Stay tuned for more videos in the future. This is The Real Batman, signing out.